Hi, hello, my name is Gabriel, and welcome to Monster High Part 2. If you've not seen the first video, I recommend you watch it just because it has a lot of the context of why I'm doing this, how I'm doing it, etc. But quickly, before we get into it, my goals with all of these characters is to keep their original fantasy as fashion, whilst also upgrading it to a more contemporary, my style of fashion. And all these characters are older than teenagehoods because, as I said in the first video, I feel uncomfortable about drawing teenagers in the purpose of doing fashion design. So here we go for the second design. Before we start, I had a lot of views on the last video compared to my usual self. Anyway, thanks for you guys who have stuck around. I've seen a couple of comments and it was really cool. Thanks for being here, I guess. I'm just a little freak on the internet, but I'm glad I'm making your day. And without further ado, let's start with Ghoulia Yelps. So Ghoulia is a very particular character. I think her original concept, fantasy, was very much the Tumblr girl, if we can say. Like, it took me a while to realize, not that it's poorly done, but because it's a type of aesthetic that is not done a lot. So it took me a lot of time to realize that's what they were striving for. But her original goal is, you know, those black hair. She needed to have bangs over her eye to really sell it, but like, that's the kind of thing they were going for, I'm pretty sure. The classic Tumblr girl. But also, Ghoulia has a lot of references to being the cyber tech wear inspired. So with those baggy pants, she has a scooter and scares. She's always seen as being very, very apt with computers and phones. So for my redesign, I decided that it would be really interesting to bring the old, like, Tumblrina concept and more upgrade it to cyber tech concept, which I know I'm like going against my own goal of keeping the original character concept alive, except that I think it's just the normal like progression. Like, I'm just pushing it to the further. So for the concepts, this is what I went with. So the first one was really much like that cyber tech concept. Also, I wanted her to be plus size, not for any particular reason. I just wanted to have one fat character on the roster at least, and I decided that she would be a good candidate. So I decided to give her on the first concept, right? It was like cyber tech. I decided to give her, you know, cyber tech stuff, big pants, a big cowl, and I really liked her shoes. On the second one, I decided to go with my other idea, which was more of a baby doll dress type of look, and pull like structured stuff, because her first design has a very like dainty top on top of her striped shirt, so I thought it would be really interesting to bring like that aesthetic to an entire dress. The third one I did was really much Tumblrina to the max. I feel like this is a person you would see on Tumblr in like 2015, so that's what I was trying to channel. And the last one was just cyber tech idea, but pushed to the maximum. I decided to cover her face, cover everything about her, almost non-identifiable. And with her and the first one, which are the two ones I preferred, I decided to go with a perfect mix between a mohawk and a mullet. That's what I went with. So for the color, there's not much to say. I knew about what colors I wanted to do. So a red that is pulled towards pink, because red pinks, we've been through this before. And then blue for her hair and a darker shade. But I did a lot of colors and it was really helpful because it helped me figure out what was where and where to add white, how to add it, etc. So there's not much to say about these colors because they're not that different from one another, but I think they're there. And then for the final design, I am really happy with it. I think I could have gone more with the proportions. I feel like she could have been a lot thicker, but that's something I need to practice in art, is that I tend to have like better sketches in proportions than final drawings. I feel like whenever I do line art, I have a tendency to try to like follow my sketch, obviously, but like to streamline it, and sometimes it just kind of lose the it feels like it loses the thickness of the sketch, which is bad. I really need to work on that. Overall, I really like what it like resulted. I really like the paint splatter on her pants. I really like the shape of the pants, basically, because I really like this kind of like structured pants that really poofs into those long Converse. I think that is really interesting. She didn't have much going for her, to be honest. I really like the details I did with the face, so I decided to give her like this kind of grunge makeup that is, if you know me, if you know my art, if you've seen my art before, I usually really like to do very structured makeup, drag queen-esque makeup, because that's what I appreciate a lot in makeup, and I think that is one of the reasons why I personally think I'm really good at drawing makeup, is because it comes a lot from drag inspiration, and I'm usually really structured with a big ass swing and stuff like that. But for this one I decided to keep it really simple to my usual style, so just like grunge smoky red eye with a touch of blue just to separate it. And then I decided to give her iris colors to be like really pale blue and her pupils to be like fragmented, because I don't know, I thought it was a really interesting look. I give her thick ass lashes but only on the bottom. Yeah, I'm really proud of her face. And then for her mouth, I just decided it would be really cool if one of her, like her jaw was just dislocated all the time, but she's still smiling and puts on lipstick because she is happy. And you know, Monster High is all about accepting and loving your own differences. So that's about it for Ghoulia. She was like a really simple one. She's not my favorite from the roster, but she was also not my favorite on the original, but I'm really happy with what I was able to do with her. And let's move on to Lagoona Blue. So from the new redesigns, Lagoona is actually my least favorite one, and I was the most excited about her redesign because I really like fish characters. It's a recurring joke with my friends. I'm the fish. I really like water. I really like the concept of marine animals, and I was really excited for her. And also a thing that I think was really not enough on the new design is that Lagoona is kind of a jock. Like, she's multifaceted. Well, that's one of the reasons why I liked Lagoona so much as a kid, is that she is kind of a jock but also kind of a nerd, and so I wanted to really like portray the more jockey attitude, because she's like a girl but she is also a professional swimmer. And so this is like kind of like the goal I really wanted for this design, was to make her more jock-like. So the really first like concept I had in my brain, like weeks before I drew it, was this like really low-key, very like relaxed character that had a school bathing suit, I guess, and this big Leatherman jacket on top, because she is a jock, and I thought it was such a cool fit. So this is the first design I went with, and I liked it. I just didn't like the shape language at all. So I decided for the second one to bring her more to like a soccer kind of player feel, because I don't know, maybe that's my judgment, but I feel like a lot of soccer players look like that in day-to-day life. So with the tied like jacket on top and the suit, it was probably my second favorite, but the third one was my favorite because it was the same concept as the first one basically, but just more streamlined. She looked more relaxed in my sketch, and also tucking the jacket in the shorts made it like a really top heavy design, which I really appreciated because it was like really cool. And then the last one was Freak. Let's not talk about her. For the next step, I did a second plate, which was specifically for her face and hair. So I decided to try 3 very different face and hairstyles. So the first one is more like surfer dude and more cool. The second one is more monstrous, I guess, and the hair is more preppy. And then the third one is just like a very wavy kind of hair with this more relaxed face and those fins as eyelashes. So then for the colors, I went ham on these colors. I did a lot, but so I'm gonna go really quickly. The first one, I wanted to really try to have a very light skin and light fins and light hair because bleach, because of, you know, chlorine. The second one, I decided to go completely the opposite. So I kind of took inspiration from that god-awful design that she had in that movie where she's like bright fucking blue, but I decided to bring that more aspect and to try that out. On the third one is basically trying the same as the first two, but bringing more hot pink into the mix and trying out with the Leatherman jacket what I prefer. The fourth one is more, it includes some purple and blue wavy in the hair, because it was like, oh, it could be cool if like her hair is dyed blue but bleached because of the chlorine. And then the fifth one, I decided to add a curveball and just put a lot of green in the design, and that's when I realized that makeup was perfect, because one thing I really wanted with her is that she doesn't have eyebrows because she is a fish creature. Fish creatures don't need hair to protect their face from water because they are in the water, so she looks pretty emotionless until I added that kind of makeup, and then I was really in love with it. And then the last one is just, you know, what I do, bring a little bits and pieces of everything, so bring a more like complex skin color, but it is still desaturated. A lot of bright pink in the design. Once again, red pink. We've been through this. And then her hair was more like a brown to a honey blonde to a bleach blonde. And yeah, so that's the one I went with. And then the final design is just, I really, really love it. I think that the makeup is one of the best makeup I've did in a long time. And I really, really like drawing makeup. Like, drawing makeup is my favorite part of like all of these designs. It's everything to me. But I think the way I like sculpted the face with the makeup looks really, really cool. And it kind of brings her down from like that jock, because she is multifaceted, right? So yes, she is a jock, but I feel like she would also be the kind of jock who spends a lot of time drawing her makeup, because she's also like a nice jock. I don't know. It's just that I feel like a lot of times when in cartoons, specifically for kids, they want to make a like girl jock, a cis girl that is a jock, they tend to try to make her a tomboy or make her more like masculine to like throw that. And I really didn't want that for her, because I think it would be really cool to have just like Lagoona having access to her femininity while still being very much a kick-ass and a fucking badass. I wanted to bring a lot of personality to her through her face, and she still looks super relaxed. So overall, it's a really simple design if we're really honest, but I really like it because I feel like it represents really much what she is and what she stands for, with a bathing suit in little white shorts and a Letterman jacket, and fucking flip-flops, because why not? And yeah, her hair, if you can see through her hair, getting whiter by the tips because of chlorine. As someone with colored hair, I sure as hell know that chlorine fucks up hair color. And yeah, so that's basically the end of Lagoona, and I really, really like it. Probably my favorite of the whole set. And let's move on to the last design, which is also a 2-in-1, Cleo and Deuce. So when I was first thinking about doing Monster High, I was thinking of 6, because 2 times 3 feels like a good number. And then I remembered that the first wave of dolls had 6 dolls, like you could buy 6 elements, but the last one was a 2-box set between Cleo and Deuce, and I was like, this is too good to not do. And also can bring like a guy in it, and I also think that I could play a little bit with their contrast, so I did it. This is the quickest it's gonna be for the designs, because I only had 2 in mind for Cleo, and also I knew I was doing 2 characters, so I like kept myself limited, because that is why this video took so long to come out, because there's so much to do. So the first design I had for Cleo was this very simple, elegant dress with bandaged, like really big thigh-high boots, kind of like those very ugly thigh-high hugs that I think Rihanna wore in like 2016, and bandages, and I really liked it. But then I tried the second one, which was more of a kind of disco in like the shape, with those bell bottoms and very form-fitting, and half of it was more bandaged and the other one was golden. Well, not golden, but it was a color and with a longer hair, and that's the one I decided to go with because I thought it was just like more elegant and more probably what she would want it to look like, I guess. And then the second one was Deuce, which was so easy to do. Deuce's outfit came to me like this because my concept was like, what is Deuce Gorgon? Deuce Gorgon is in the original pop punk, kind of a pop punk nice guy. What is the like continuation of that? E-boy. So e-boy it is. That sounds so stupid, but also I think it is, first of all, very funny, and second of all, very cool. We laugh a lot at e-boys in here, and it's fine. I think it is funny to laugh at them because they're cringe. Not all the time, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of them are cringe, but I really think that their fashion is really good. So I decided to imply that. So yeah, it came super easy, like form-fitting pants with Doc Martens with a platform, a striped shirt that is too big under a t-shirt that has a logo on it. The one thing that was harder with Deuce was his hair, so I did a second plate once again to specifically work with his hair. So I tried a couple of things. At first I wanted it to be like braids because I thought it would look cool. Then I went with the general shape that the new redesign has. Then I tried the classic mohawk, which I didn't like. And then I found this one, which was like, specifically like black e-boys that would do this with their locks sometimes, which would just like pull it all in a bun, and then some of them would fall on the face, and I really like what it looked like, so that's the one I went with. But I also did try more on the side, and then a beanie. For the colors, I decided to do all of them like together, always as a pair, but I ended up not going with like a pair, if that makes sense. So the first Cleo design was, I decided to try to make her bandages gold, because that I feel like it's Cleo's thing. I feel like she would do that. And then have a more like turquoise, the rock turquoise inspired jumpsuit. And as for Deuce, I decided to do like the classic like gray shirt with a green logo, white stripes, dark green leathery pants, dark docks with bright hair. For the second set of colors, I went with gold instead of turquoise in Cleo's like jumpsuit, and then regular bandage colors and accents of bright cyan. I fell in love with it. It's really, really cool. I really like the golden effect. So this is the one I went with. For the second Deuce, I decided to make Deuce green, like in the redesign once again. I decided to like try to see if I liked it and switch a couple of colors. And I really, really liked the shoes, but that's about all I kept for this design. The third Cleo design was the same as the second one, but switched the gold and the cyan, which I also really liked, but I thought the gold was better. And then this last Deuce was I decided to bring a lot more green to his face, but still keep him like skin color. And then the striped shirt was green, a gray shirt, and then white pants, which, well, not white, but like light pants. I thought was a nice curveball. And then I decided to make his hair like very much like different, a lot of different colors. And I also fell in love with him, so I decided to combine the two of them. So for the process, I'm gonna go one by one. So let's start with Cleo. Her face was really fun to do. I decided to give her like a very straight nose, kind of because it's not something that we see all the time, specifically not in fashion design. So I thought it was important to include it, especially because she's a character that's regarded a lot for her beauty. So I thought it was really important, specifically because like of the origins of Cleopatra and everything like that. I thought it was important to like give her an ethnic nose, and the goal of it being beautiful, because it is beautiful. Also, her eye makeup is really, really intense, very drag, like it is the most draggy of all of them, but I think it really, really fits her character, obviously. I really like the gold effects. Like her outfit is probably one of the simplest ones. Well, I mean, there's the bandages, but apart from the very intricate bandages where a lot of, like most of her outfit is one single color, and I feel like it is a very simple design, but I really, really like it. And yeah, there's not much to say. She was really, really easy to do. And then for Deuce, he took a lot more time, I think, but he was really fun. He's probably one of my favorite designs. Like with Lagoona, they are right there. I decided to give him like weird ass eyes because he's a Gorgon, and red shiny glasses. The snakes were fun to draw in all direction and tangled up and fun. Like one thing I really personally love about these character designs is that if you notice the rings, Cleo wears gold jewelry and Deuce wears silver jewelry, but each of them have swapped a finger ring with the other. So Deuce wears a single gold ring and Cleo a single silver ring. And I think that they fit so well together, and I really, really like it. And I think they are probably like my favorite piece together, just because I don't know, I really, really like the design I chose for them. So that was long, that was a lot. So let's move on to the montage. Thanks so much for coming around. I am so excited with this series. It brought a lot more people to my page, and I'm excited about it. But also, it really pushed me to try more fashion-forward design, which you could say that I'm not a fashion, like you could say that my fashion taste is bad, and that's fine, I don't care. But I really, really am proud with what I could do. Specifically me, someone who don't see myself that much, or didn't at least see myself much as like a fashion person, like I didn't understand fashion. But I feel like this kind of pushed me to like look, observe, and replicate, and also bring these characters that I love dearly to life and in my eyes, and like make them my own. And yeah, it was really, really cool. So thanks a lot for this journey. Obviously, this is probably not the end. I'm starting school really, really soon, but I am excited to do more, and I am obviously really enthralled to get you here to do more with me. I think probably the next time we work on Monster High, I don't know, maybe tell me what you want to see, but I'm definitely interested in tackling Spectra and Abby. So yeah, that is the end. Once again, I did that last time, and that's so cringe for me to do, and I really hate it, but also, I feel like I need to. So if you like this video and or my content and or me, I would really appreciate it if you left a like and perhaps a little subscribe. As you can see, I don't have a lot of subscribers, and I don't know, I don't follow the algorithm really. I just want to create what I want to create, but also it would be really cool if I got some reconnaissance from it. And I really hope you like these designs. You can find me all over the screen. Again, most of like the best versions of these images are on Tumblr directly, and if you want to see more of me just losing my mind, I stream on Twitch sometimes. So once again, thank you and see you soon.